All right. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you are healthy and your families as well. Um, all right. So let's get into our new lesson. It's been a while since we had a lesson, just because we met and I gave you more time last time to finish before posting another one. All right. So let me minimize my face and get into this next section of the global wind patterns. And these are the wind belt that we call the westerlies. But before we go into that, let me just review what we went over already. Okay, the last thing we studied was something called the Coriolis effect, which is a result of the Earth rotating. Let me get my pointer. Okay, the Earth rotating from east to west. Okay, and because the Earth rotates, around the center is where you have more rotation because of gravity. Around the center, there's more rotation, so the center rotates faster than the poles, and because of this, you have this rotational pattern that happens. So in the northern hemisphere, in the north, you have everything, wind and water, flowing in a clockwise fashion, and then in the south, you have a counterclockwise. Okay, um, so water does the same thing as wind. Okay, so we also studied something about the wind pattern between the equator, which is 0 degrees latitude, and so the wind pattern between 0 degree latitude and 30 degrees latitude is called the trade wind. And there's two of these, one on each side. It's mirrored. So in the northern hemisphere and in the southern hemisphere. Okay, and these winds flow from east out to west. Okay, and therefore they're called the trade winds because the sailors in the past, the explorers would use these winds to trade between different areas. Okay, so now we're gonna go into the next section. Okay, so we studied from 0 to 30. Now, what is the next wind belt called between the 30-degree latitude and 60-degree latitude on both sides of the Earth, okay, north and south? So the next major latitude is 30 to 60 latitude region, all right? And these are called the westerlies, okay? And the way winds are named is where they start from. So this last one started from the west, or sorry, the east. The trade winds start from the east and head out west. The next wind pattern starts from the west and heads east. Okay, so what you have is these winds that kind of, again, in the northern hemisphere go clockwise, in the southern hemisphere go counterclockwise. And what they do is what happens similar to what happens between 0 and 30. Okay, between 0 and 30, what you had was wind, because of differential heating, lots of heat around the equator. You have wind patterns that lift up, that go around 0 and 30 and lift up moisture and create clouds. So around the equator is where you have a lot of moisture and heat. So you have a tropical area, and a lot of tropical jungles and rainforests happen around the equator because it's hot and it's also very humid, right? So now when you go into the area between 30 and 60, okay, you have the same wind patterns happening here. So where the air lifts is where it will produce clouds, right? So the air descends around 30 degrees latitude, and then it goes in a clockwise pattern and lifts. The wind lifts, or the air lifts around 60 degrees, and that's where the clouds happen. Okay, so in the United States, if you notice, this is around where we have a lot of the temperate rainforests. Okay, so again, this is because it's the Earth is sloped more, and I hopefully you remember from differential heating, where it's hotter, where the around the equator, and as you go up towards the poles, it becomes cooler, right? So now you have a cool climate with clouds. So you get these rainforests, but these rainforests are temperate. They're cooler than the rainforests around the equator. Okay, so the westerlies are wind patterns that exist between 30 degrees and 60 degrees, north and south. Okay, so now we talked about the rainforest up here around 60 degrees. What's happening in 30 degrees, right? Around 30 degrees, you have the other cell down here, right, pushing, sweeping down and up around the equator, and the cell in this latitude range doing the same thing, kind of sweeping away and lifting, right? So around 30 degrees latitude, the wind sweeps away moisture, and takes it to 60 and to the equator. So what you get is is an area that's warm. Okay, it's 30 degrees latitude, which is close to the equator. So it's warm, and the winds are taking away moisture. So you have a lot of desert areas on both sides of on both the northern and southern hemisphere, right? So coming back to the questions here, the areas around 30 degrees north and south, okay, are dry and arid, okay, dry and hot. Okay, not much grows here, lots of desert. Down here as well, lots of deserts, okay? The areas around 60 degrees north and south, 60 degrees north and south, lots of humidity, lots of rain. So you have rainforests, okay? So these are usually, and because they're 60 degrees, they're a little cooler than the equator. So they're cool and wet, okay? The land masses surrounding 30 degrees north and south are usually, so the land masses, we're talking about biomes here. What kind of biome is this? Usually these are deserts, right? These are deserts. And in the United States, if you notice, one important awesome state where you all live is surrounding 30 degrees. Okay, and that's obviously, parts of it are desert, but parts of it are not. And obviously, I'm talking about California. Okay, but the land masses surrounding 30 degrees north and south are usually deserts. Okay, and so the land masses surrounding 60 degrees north and south are usually, this is where you get a lot of moisture, a lot of rain, but it's cooler. So we'll talk about temperate versus tropical rainforests later, but they're usually rainforests. Okay, so you have the answers. Please fill in the document and submit it to Google Classroom for credit. And if you have any questions or concerns, as always, please leave a comment or email me and I'll get back to you right away. All right. Hope you're all having a great day and a great week, and I'll talk to you later.